Welcome to Upping Your Game, the podcast where we bring an expert to share their wisdom to help you, your team, or your organization thrive in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world. Today, we have David Seah, Director of HR at Micron Technologies, and he is based in Singapore. David, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, good morning, Stephen. Thanks for having me into your podcast as well. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great to have you here. You know, these days, everybody's talking about teams and high performance and agility and AI and all this stuff. So, I have a question for you. How can teams, since you're in HR, right, remain agile and adaptable without losing momentum in this rapidly changing environment, though?
Yeah, Stephen, you have rightly pointed out, in today's fast-paced world, organizations must remain agile and adaptable to survive and thrive. Teams, being the driving force behind these organizations, they play a crucial role in this endeavor. There are some strategies that we adopt to ensure that team can stay agile and adaptable without losing momentum. Some of the examples that we have include, embrace a culture of continuous learning, foster open communications, and many more in things that we are doing as well. To ensure that our team stay abreast.
Wow. Actually, I like that because, people say organizations, but organizations really are a cluster of different teams, right? So I think for you guys, you say fostering a culture of continuous learning, which I think is very important, and open communication, both within and across teams, right? I'm assuming that is something that you guys encouraged.
Yes, that's for sure, right? So I just briefly mentioned some of the strategy that we use, but in essential, other than embracing a culture of continuous learning, foster open communications, we also encourage flexibilities and innovations, right? Inclusive culture also create that psychological safety for our team member to voice up, and we also prioritize our team members' well-being and enabling the resilience in that. Those are key important things that we are putting in there to ensure that the team members, they have the right mindset. And also we also set clear goals and priorities, leveraging on technologies and automation. So all in all, these multiple pillars that we put together that will enable that mindset, the culture that keep the team member going, being adaptable and helping everyone to be able to learn, and at the same time adapting to this fast-paced environment that we are today constantly evolving.
Great. I love that, right? The base is the mindset and having that culture, psychological safety, and everything you mentioned so far. Great. I want to ask you another question because, nowadays we always talk about AI-powered collaboration and tools and stuff. How is AI at least used, or how's the technology changing how teams work together? And what might teams do to stay ahead of the curve, though? What are you guys doing?
That is a good question, Stephen. So in fact, today AI is still at a very early stage that we are seeing, right? So technology we know is a very powerful enabler of agility. So leveraging the right tools and automating the repetitive tasks, right? Team can actually focus more on the strategic activities, right? So we are always looking into considering implementing automations, right? Use automations tools to handle routine tasks that will actually free up time for more critical job, right? We also adopting to the solutions, cloud solutions, leveraging on those tools for better collaborations and access to information from anywhere, right? And again, data as usual, you will always help to drive decision making. So a lot of times, utilizing on all this data analytics that will also help us in terms of making informed decisions and quickly adapts to a changing environment. And we talk about learning, right? So as we continue to explore in this new era, right, we also have to upkeep and letting our team members stay abreast on all these tools that's available. So we need to constantly promote and also keep the learning going so that we know, right, we have to continue to keep ourselves abreast in this rapid changing environment.
it really doesn't stop. I heard a fact the other day that AI tools and just the AI capability doubles every 3.3 months, right? Can you imagine in 2 years' time, the power of the tools? Firstly, we're going to learn the tools, but then to your point, right? It frees up the time so people can actually focus on the strategy and actually interacting with each other versus doing the mundane tasks, right? So I really like that though. So if I would move on, I like to experiment this, around innovation and experimentation, correct? What are the best ways for teams to experiment, innovate, and challenge the status quo in an organization? Usually most organizations have set SOPs and the things they do, but sometimes we need people to challenge it to take you to the next level, right? So what are you guys doing in that area, though?
So, back to some of the strategies that I mentioned, right? A couple of things I think is important, right? Fostering that inclusive culture that
Hmm.
creates that psychological safety. So, an inclusive culture is fundamental for creating an environment where the team members, they feel psychologically safe. And
Yeah.
then when individual feels valued and respected, they are more likely to take risks, right? Share ideas and collaborate effectively. So those are some of the things the fundamental that we build upon, right? And of course, from that itself, that where we build the strategies in terms of promoting the inclusivity, right? And ensuring that team members comprises individuals from various background, perspective, experience that everyone can feel included and valued. We also encourage, and through that, we also encourage open dialogue. So create forums and channels where team member can voice their opinions and concerns and without fear of judgment, right? And one of the things that I feel is also extremely important, right? We also need to build the trust, right? Now, building trust takes time. So establish trust amongst team member by being transparent, consistent, and fair in all our interactions. And lastly, we want to provide a support, offering support to various kind of platforms through our mentorship program, our employee resource group, and some of the professional development opportunities that the companies that does provides to our team member.
Well, it
So,
sounds like you
yep.
guys have a number of different things, including ERGs and inclusivity seems to be a big thing, right? Because once you can do that and you make people psychologically safe, then they're a little bit more open to share their views and things, how things can be better, right? I think that's your main goal, though. That whole open dialogue, and I'm sure you have different forums for people to share their views on different things, though. Yeah, that's great. Now, I want to take it another step because teams, one of the main things about organizations is to stay competitive, right? And as a team. So, but the question really is, what distinguishes high-performing teams, okay, or future-ready teams from the ones that risk becoming obsolete, right? So, is there a difference? I mean, they're teams, but some are really high-performing and future-focused and some are just doing normal things, but they may become obsolete, right? So what are your thoughts around that?
Well, that's indeed a question that everybody is looking at. I believe not only just having that continuous evolvement of teams itself, but it's also building that continuity, or I would call a sustainable workforce, right?
Mm,
So so of course, when things continue to evolve, continue to change, right? Those things that I mentioned earlier on, when we encourage flexibility and innovations, and
yep,
that creating that psychological safety for our team members to thrive, right? That those are some of the cornerstones that we have. But again, there are many things that brings all these things together, right? It is never one or two things that make a key difference, right? There will be
yep.
some vital view strategy that we put up, but I believe as we continue to journey along with all our team members, there will be a lot of trivial many things that we have to put together. But I no, I firmly believe that when all these things comes together, it will help. And you always start at the top where that's where the culture comes in. But
That's right.
one of the important things that a lot of the people that we miss out is always that middle management. That middle
Mm,
management, actually, they are the ones that interacts between the higher management and the team members.
They're
Because
key, right? They're
they
really
are key,
key.
right? And that's the whole main bouts of leaders that we have over there. Now, that continuous educations and bring the team and creating the environment for that leaders to thrive, that would enable them to be to build better and stronger leaderships. And one of the things to, of course, to prepare them for the future high role leadership. But at the same time, they are also able to bring that message down to their team member. Now, if you look at it from a pyramid kind of thing, where you have a top, you have a thinner, a lower number of people versus down to the team member, we have a larger base itself. So it has to be have a step-by-step way of getting all this information down from the executive all the way down to team member, and that middle management of the leaders that we have. We are doing a lot of works and that supports to them to enable them to help our team member as well, and that's where we can create that whole change to the whole culture that we want to strive towards to.
Yeah, I think you knocked the nail on the head by talking about the middle management in all the organizations that I've been working in. The organization thrives or dies if the middle management don't support what's going on from the top down, or they block it, or they themselves don't feel that it can happen, and then the message never filters through to them down below, right? And that is that they become either the bottleneck or they become the glue of the organization. So that's really, really important. I guess Micron has a stable workforce, so you should be at least happy from a HR standpoint. But it is an always evolving thing. So let me ask you this last kind of question around this, what I call cross-disciplinary learning, right? How can teams integrate learning? I know you provide a lot of tools and you encourage it. Learning from other industries or fields to stay innovative and ahead of the competitors, right? I know we're in semiconductor, but do you guys even encourage people to go outside the industry to learn things and bring it back?
Oh, for sure, definitely, right. You are never alone in the whole competition itself, right? And your competitors, they are not, they are not stationary as well. So
Yeah, exactly.
definitely there will be a lot of benchmarking that we are looking into. And at the same time, we are also sending our leaders out for all this, sharings and also
Yeah.
picking up and learnings and bringing back to our own companies as well. No, I can share some of this examples that we had, right? Again, you mentioned about we have a stable workforce. Actually, life is never peaceful as it is. There's always a journey that we undergone. Okay, I quote an example in our whole our team member employee engagement journey itself.
Yeah.
We 6-7 years ago, when we first roll out this employee engagement survey, we were at a score of over about 50
Okay.
over. And today we were coming to about 90. So that journey
wow.
itself, there has been a lot of learning, relearning, and also making changes to
Tweaks
where
along
we
the
were
way.
in the strategies to ensure to in a way trying to foster what we need to do to move to where we were, and that also comes along with a lot of industrial understanding. Now, when we had that employee engagement internal survey that we wrote, we also had a leveraging on industrial information. We participated in a Great Place to Work survey as well. So that gave us that industrial insights. And through that industrial understanding, we also pick up some of the good lesson learned that some of the companies have. And we bring all this industrial knowledge back to our workplace itself, create a kind of environment. And of course, some of the things we probably have to reinvent to make it suitable for our team members itself. And that journey itself is amazing, turning our workplace from where we were to where we are today. And today, of course, through that journey, we have seen a great improvement, not only just from an internal survey standpoint, from what our team members has feedback, but from a external benchmark. When we first took part in the Great Place to Work where we were, we came in from number 9 in the placing to where we were, where we are today, where we have achieved year-on-year improvement to second placing for Great Place to Work this year in Singapore. So those kind of benchmarking, understanding the industry is crucial for us to continue to stay ahead of the curve, right? Ensuring we know what the industry is doing, and bring back some of the BCAMs and reinvent to what is required in our company, right? And that will enable us to continue to stay ahead and improve what we need to do from where we were. So those are some of the examples we had that some of the journeys I can quote.
That's very impressive, David. As you're thinking about one final thing you would tell people, for me, going from an employee engagement from 50 to 90 is a big deal, right? I don't care how long you took. It doesn't seem like you took that many years. And moving from 9th place to 2nd place is a great achievement, and I'm sure HR and all your senior leaders had a big part in it. But I think the main part is really your organization's openness to learning, right? And openness to ideas and getting in and just keep moving ahead along the way. So I really appreciate your time. Is there any final thought if you would share to somebody, considering how they can improve their teams, their organization, agility, innovation, inclusiveness? What would you say to somebody?
Yep. That's one thing I learned along the way, right? Trust building takes time, right? And when you invest the time to build the teams itself, you will get many things out of it, in the years to come. Now, something that I also want to bring upon, if things that is easy to achieve, within a short period of time, it also means that it's easy to lose within a short period of time, right? So those are some of the concepts that we probably need to know, right? And investing time right now will help in the future of our needs and ensuring the sustainability of growth that we will have, right?
Okay, I love that. Trust building takes time, but you invest that in the team, the payoff is the long run, right? We have a saying in our program that we teach as well. Building trust takes a long time. Losing trust takes a very short time. So so that's why we need people like you from a HR standpoint to keep our leaders straight and make sure that they're continuing to build their teams, make sure that they are agile, make sure that they are leveraging to achieve high performance. David Seah, thank you so much for being on our podcast, and I hope to meet you in Singapore in person one of these days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.